Why did she even bother? "Be good," she said, adding a serious big sister tone to her voice. "I will," Lysandra threw behind her. But since she didn't even bother to look back, Sydney didn't hope for much. She knew her sister, and she'd just lost her to a 6'6" brother with dimples across the room. Sydney eventually lost sight of her sister as a crowd thickened. She turned her attention back to their ticket into the exclusive Toronto Raptors NBA season opener event. The cake. Sydney stood back and admired her work again, loving the way the chandelier from above and the tiny lights around the edges of the table and underneath it lit up her creation. The marzipan gave the cream-colored square base of the cake a smooth, flawless finish, and the gold trim caught the light beautifully. The golden replica of an NBA championship trophy, which sat atop the base, was, however, the highlight. She had to admit it was the sculpted work of art, and one of the best jobs she had done in years. It was also one of the most difficult. It had taken 2 days just to bake and decorate the thing that didn't include the several concept meetings, the special ordered baking molds, and multiple samples made to ensure that the cake tasted just as good as it looked. For the past month and a half, this cake job had consumed her life, but it was well worth it. Not only for the weight it put in her pocket, but also the weight it was likely to add to her client list. Once everyone at the event saw her creation, she was sure she would finally make it into the city's pastry chef A-list, and Decadent would be the go-to spot for wedding and special event cakes. She stood near the cake for a while, sucking up the oohs and ahs of passers-by, before heading to the bathroom to check that she hadn't sweated out her curls carrying up the cake from downstairs. She took in her long, dark hair, which had been curled and pinned up for the night, her slightly rounded face, and plump pinked lips, and was satisfied. She turned to the side to get a better view of her size 6 frame and smiled, even though she had protested when Lysandra presented the dress. She knew she looked good. Normally, she hated any kind of shimmer, but the slight sparkle from the dress was just enough to put Sydney in the party mood it inspired. Okay, so Lysandra may have been right. She was there for business, but that didn't mean she couldn't have some fun, too. By the time she reapplied her lipstick and headed back, the room was full. She tried to mingle and did end up chatting with a few guests, but her maternal instincts were in full gear, and it wasn't long before she found her way back to the cake. She was about to check for anything amiss when she felt gentle fingers on the back of her bare neck. She swung around on reflex. "What do you think you're doing?" she said, slapping away the hand that had violated her personal space. "Figuring out if I'm awake or dreaming." Sydney's eyes slid all the way up the immaculately toned body of the 6'3" man standing in front of her, to his strong jaw, full smirking lips, and coffee brown eyes. Her jaw dropped. And not just because of how ridiculously handsome he was. "Dub?" "Nene." She cringed. "Wow, that's a name I never thought I would hear again. And that's a half tattoo I never thought I'd see again." Sydney slapped her hand to the back of her neck self-consciously. She had almost forgotten the thing was there. It would take the one person who had witnessed her chicken out on getting it finished to remind her about it. Hayden Windsor. Now, wasn't this a blast from the past, sure to get her into some present trouble? She tossed a hand onto her hip and pursed her lips. "I thought Toronto was too small for you." "It is." "Then what are you doing here?" "Right now?" His eyes flitted across her frame in answer. "Stop that," Sydney said, her cheeks heating up as she caught his perusal. "Stop what?" he asked with a laugh. "You know what," she said. She shook her head. "You are still the same." He shrugged in an attempt at innocence that only served to draw Sydney's eyes to the muscles shifting under his slim-fitting jacket. "Can't help it. Haven't seen you in almost 10 years. What? You gonna beat me up like you did when you were 7? "Maybe." "Bully. Jerk. How about we continue this argument over dinner?"